Welcome, Vikings. This is Blondie speaking. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this little mini-series. Before I go any further, the mini-series will be denoted in the thumbnail in the top left or right-hand corner with a little hammer. And this series is going to be basically me trying to understand the building system a little better and just practicing, basically. That's what this little short mini-series will be all about. I will not have a regular schedule for this. I'm just going to be uploading these videos whenever I get the itch to experiment with the build system for whatever reason. So don't expect any sort of regularity here. It's just me doing my thing. And I'm going to be using the main file so that all of the progress and stuff is kept here. You know, chopping wood and all of the XP is sort of gained by the character as part of the long play process. If this isn't your sort of jam, totally not necessary to watch this. We may get into a scuffle or two, but that won't be the focus of these episodes. Now, let's head to... I'm going to head to base 1. We're going to set up a nice little area there. So what I'd like to do this episode, and this is going to be a shorter episode than a lot of the regular ones, because it is just a supplemental thing. What I'd like to do is find a good open spot. So over in this direction, I did not grab. There was one thing I needed to grab and I didn't grab it. You idiot, Blondie. One of the more important things for this whole process. Grab it. Now, while we're doing all of this, big thank you for participating in the poll. Around the sort of content that you wanted to see here, the sort of videos you want me to produce, and providing your input about how you wanted to see this part of the process as well. Even though the vote was pretty overwhelmingly in favor of me doing all of this offline, a lot of people that dropped into the comments and expressed interest in seeing this process as well. So clearly the build system interests you guys. I'm not going to deprive you of that. If it's asked for, even though the vote kind of swung in the other direction, even though it was asked for, so I'm gonna give it to you. This is it. So give yourselves a pat on the back. It's because you spoke up. I don't want to go in this direction. It's because you spoke up that we have this mini series. So thank you for providing input. Now, this is all in service at the moment to the base build episodes. I do one of those a week. I focus purely on building up the base. There is a lot of work to do on that base. I am replicating something. I'm not going to tell you specifically what it is. I'm asking people to try and guess what it is based on the build. It will probably take some time before you get some reasonable guesses going. But that's part of the fun, right? I get to guess about what the game is going to throw at me, and you guys know. And you guys get to guess about what I build, and I know. Little something for all of us. Okay, he's gone. So in service of all of this, I think it makes a lot of sense to try and clear out a bit of land and figure out how I'm going to plot this base. Because getting the scale right in the source versus Valheim is going to be a bit of a process for me. I don't quite know how to translate the scale, so I'm going to be trying to figure that out as we go. Now, we are going to need to clear a bit of land here. So, clear this little section here. Need some wood as well. Ooh. Just a little bit. We have enough wood to play around with at the moment, so I'm going to try that. There we go. Come here. Don't care about that neck. Ooh, yes. Like that. We are a little bit short on energy. Eat that. Alright, that's all of this, and a bit of this. Not a huge amount of wood, but we don't need a huge amount of wood, not to plot things out, at least. I'll start harvesting more wood as we need it, but I just want to get to a relatively flat patch of ground. I don't want to have to terraform too much. Here we go, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm going to choose this spot over here. Now, rather than trying to level the land, which, should I go over and get some of this? Which should be relatively, I say this tongue-in-cheek, should be relatively easy to do. Nice. Rather than trying to do that, what I'm going to try and do is pretend that the land is already leveled and just kind of develop it a little bit. So, let's equip this. I'm going to path in this area just so that I can see the general contours. My guy, I'm busy. That's very rude. Alright, let's pop this in here. Alright, so I just want to get a feel for how the land is moving around here. Now, I'm not going to try and replicate the scale of what I'm going for one-to-one here. I just want to get a general feel for it. Alright, let's assume that the boundary marker is so from this stone here to say around about this stone here. And down. Love the fact that you can jump and path at the same time. That's how Vikings do it. Baby. Alright, I think I've gone too far. Yes. Around about here. Something like this. It probably won't quite work out that way, but something like this. Alright, so what I'm going to try and do now that I've got a rough boundary is level this area. Let's put you away. Before I do that, I need to... Whoops, get rid of this. So yes, it is possible that there will be more resources during the proper episodes, air quotes proper episodes, and this will be why. Because I'll be transferring, oops, I did not mean to do that, some of the stuff that I've been doing here into there. Alright. Now let's pop... Let's destroy this first. I want this to be one corner. Am I really? Why do I waste so much? Is it the wood? Has to be the wood. Alright, let's pop that over here for now. There we go. Much better. Okay, cool. So, something like this corner here. What I'm going to need to do is level this area off. I'm going to choose this height here as what I would like to level. So let's see if I can... toggle snapping outlines, cycle snapping, build menu remove. Mouse 3 is remove. Nope, apparently not. Okay. Alright, let's try and... So when we say level, we say a specific height, which is what I'm standing on right now. Which means that some ground will lower, some will rise. That is definitely lowering. I think some of this build will need to be on stilts. I think that's how it's going to have to work. So, right about here, I think. Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to be serviceable. So it should be fairly evident just by eyeballing it which areas I'm going to be building in. This seems to be leveling okay. It's not too bad. Definitely not as bad as I've heard it can be. Oh, okay, that's the durability gone. That's right, that'll be easy enough to fix. Just pop this down here for now. Oh, it's gonna need a roof, of course it is. You know what, let's do this properly. Alright, we'll keep all of that crafting station stuff over here, all of our resources and whatnot. Let's put you there and let's give you something rudimentary. I don't really care to make it fancy. Something like this, and I'll give you a little bit of elevation. Okay. And you know what? I think we can get away with something like this. Okay. Too exposed? Yep, I kind of expected that. Okay, so I think the other thing we need to do here is add some walls. Like this. Still too exposed? Okay, it might be that I need to add walls up to the ceiling, perhaps. Yep, there we go. Okay, cool. That's perfectly fine, that's what I expected. Let's get back to terraforming here. Alright, so this will be the corner over here, kind of around about where this rock is, or on that line at least. Doesn't have to be right where the rock is, of course. Alright, but this is all going to have to be leveled. I need more food. A lot more food. There we go. Alright, same deal here. That needs to be lowered. Now the reason I'm doing it all the way out here is because I don't plan on building anything out here or even coming out here very often. I've heard that it can be a bit of a performance hit if you terraform too much of an area. Depending on your computer, I guess. If you've got a potato, that's probably not going to be very happy about you doing all of this. Oh, there's a divot there. There is still a divot there. I could actually raise the ground. I'd need to move the workbench, but I could actually raise the ground here. I'm a little bit disappointed. Here we go, maybe this will help. Don't think it's helped that much. Alright, I think in terms of leveling, it's not too bad. It's serviceable. That'll work. That's enough to give me a base. Alright, let's get rid of these extra rocks. Nice. And we'll just get rid of this. Okay. Alright, I mean, largely speaking, that's not too bad. Please go away, we are busy. Right. So I think it makes sense now to mark off exactly where this all is going. So we'll do this line by line. Okay, let's start with... Just thinking to myself how best to do this. I had a couple of ideas in mind. The joist system sounds like a good way to go. But I need something a little more accurate. Poles aren't quite as accurate. You've got the width of the pole as well to take into account. Whereas with wooden walls, I kind of know how the dimensions work when it comes to the stone blocks. And this is part of the problem. This is why I'm doing this series, because I don't quite know... Actually, probably helps if I can get a line right too. Because I don't quite know how the stone blocks are going to be able to fit in with the rest of the build. There's obviously the thickness of the blocks themselves, how physically big they are, that I have to take into account when figuring out the scale I need to use. Alright, let's go this way. So along this line here, I think... Why is it snapping that way? Alright, let's drop that there. So we've got one corner here. What would be really great is if I could... Alright, tell you what, let's lay down what I recognize to be the foundation. This will be the general outline. From here I can build a better idea of how this is all going to work. Now the fact that some of this is inside the ground is perfectly acceptable to me. Alright, I think it's going to make a lot of sense to move this into the center of the base. Oh, really? Just to tear all of this down? Are you serious? I should remember this, quite honestly. There we go. Alright. Should have brought stuff for a portal as well. Never mind. Okay, let's drop down... Okay, if I drop the bench here, is that going to be... Right here, I think. That should encompass all of the base. Alright, let's erect a building around this. In fact, it's probably worth me putting like a small building down here, just in general. That's not what I needed to do, I think. 2 by 2? Would that be enough? Do a 3 by 2. That should be enough. Okay. Alright, if I do walls... Out of ammo. Oh man. Hop. Now, we really need a light source. Let's, now, if I want to do this... Oh, man, I did not mean to do that. That is dangerous. Out you go. What a waste. Furniture. Here we go. Okay. Better. Now I can actually see a little bit. Building. Let's put a door there and a wall there. Okay. That's obviously going to have to go now. I'm going to have to... I can put this on the side here. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because then I can give it like a little lean-to. Like this. Alright. Building. Let's give it a door. Yes, this is kind of necessary, doing all of this stuff. Alright, let's put in a little extra height. Because I think a single is a little bit too low. Personally, for me, some will probably find it acceptable. That is perfectly okay. Ooh, you know what? We can just do a couple of doubles here. And there we go. And that should hopefully mean that we can drop a couple of... Oop. Like this. Without too much fuss. There we go. Alright, how are we looking for wood? Not much wood left, but that's fine. Let's drop down a bed so that we can actually do something. I need to put a fire down here as well, so I need... I've got enough stone. I may need some more wood. Alright, well, chopping wood is definitely going to be on the agenda. Could just chop this down. Doing a decent amount of damage. There we go. Should all collapse. Come on. It takes a long time to destroy itself. There we go. Okay. Right, so let's drop a fire right down here and in the middle, in the middle, in the middle. Beautiful. All right, ready for another day. Now, this is going to need a little bit of extra TLC before we go any further. So we've worked out that we need a wall. Try and put a wall there, and I'm going to try and put something over the top of this. See if I can attach this to expose. I think it may be more than one wall. Let's try that. Still too exposed. Nope. Okay. Perhaps it's two walls. Okay. Happy enough. But we are running short on wood now, so thanks so much. Let's grab some more wood. Try and grab 2 stacks. Hoping that will be enough to mess around with. Go too far now. Alright, a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, we are full. Let's take this stack back. Just pop it on the outside here. Not a big deal. Not a biggie. Alright. Only really need a few more, so I'm just going to supplement that with these sorts of bushes. Yep, I reckon that'll do. Probably run out of wood before we get the perimeter done on this one, but I do want to check it out. So the general idea with this barrier is this would give me the line of obviously where I need to build. This would give me a boundary. The interior here would be the floor plan. I would do this room by room so that I get the dimensions right. That's kind of how I want to do it. But in the meantime, just need you to join on there, buddy. Trying to fit. I'm using the cycle snapping. Here we go. Perfect. Let's shift to mouse 3. Nope, certainly not helping me. Maybe I'm getting the mouse buttons wrong. Miss. Okay, these cost 1 wood. These are really cheap. Alright, so that's roughly around there. Same deal here. I'll show you why it kind of needs to be planned out this way. Nope. Man, I buried that. That was way underneath. Sure that was how that was possible. Look at that, it's like you just see a small portion of it sticking out of the ground. Really, game? Alright. We have a line coming along here, so let's use that. You need to be on the other side. There we go. Okay. Alright, the reason this works well too is because all of this is going to be level. So I could just place a floor directly on top of this straight away and it'd be no drama. And we would have a small one here. Let's get rid of that. So it would be one of these and one of these. Right, so that would be the outline. This would be the floor plan inside here. You could basically start laying a floor along here. Now with the joist system, it would be propping up the floor. So the idea, if I'm understanding it correctly, would be something like this. You could probably have like a wooden beam kind of running out, I guess. The way I would do it, personally, is same sort of deal, like this, running along for a large floor system so that it wouldn't collapse. You would just have these at regular intervals. I reckon you could get away with one every 2, so like this. You could see this, the way you can tell, oops, is if we put a floor down, so you can see that one's, this is what I've gathered so far from the feedback people have given me. This is green, which means that the connection here is good, it's nice and stable. If we go to place this one, that is also green, telling me that the connection is good. That one is orange, meaning that it's kind of reaching a threshold. It's probably one away from, because you can see underneath there's no support, and if I place this one, it'll be red and it'll collapse. That one's red. I am surprised that is still holding. Maybe because floors have like automatically have some brace underneath. Let's place one more. Yeah, that was the last one. So the red one is the warning sign that you've extended too far without any supports. So basically, if I had like a system of support underneath this, I could do something like this, and then... Is that on the ground? Yeah, it is. That one's touching the ground, so that should be fully supported. You can see that one's green now. Green, green, green across the board. So actually, with the floor-based stuff, I could get away with 4 floorboards worth of stuff. If I knew that line, and I was building out this way, then I probably wouldn't need something like this going in this way. I could probably do the same here, so it would probably be about 4, so it would be about here probably. I go this and this. Probably around here is where I would need a joisting system, I would say. Like up this way and out this way. We could test this theory. So let's test this theory. Floor. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Now, because this is supported here, it's connected to something solid. These all automatically become green. So the first 2 floors are green, then it goes orange, and then red, and then it collapses. But we should be able to do the same along here when we actually have some wood. Ugh, my God, Blondie. Again, goes to yellow. And now they're all green. So yeah, 4 full floorboards worth of stuff. And you could use like a joisting prop. You wouldn't even need a large one too, just like a small cross section, I reckon. would do it. Hey, hey. Come here. Leave my stuff alone, little goblin. So instead of having something quite so large, in fact, I could even get rid of this. I am confident. Let's get rid of this, because that will collapse, probably. Nope, that's good by itself. I'm pretty confident that if I put just a simple wooden pole here, like this, I think that's connected to the ground, pretty sure. So I've connected this one. If I put like another one out here, yep, that one's good. Yep, that one's good. So I wouldn't even need a joisting system per se. I could just have a support at key points, and that would be enough. But then you would basically floor of this. Now the reason I'm using such thin walls here, I'll show you why. So I would consider... Alright, this is kind of where it gets tricky. Oh, I'm outside the workbench. Alright, this is where it gets tricky because what I need... If I put that along the center line there, it should be enough. That should be fine. So basically what I've determined is that one of these... In fact, let's do something in here. Oops. Now that's definitely where it gets tricky. Roughly speaking, one of these is the size of a brick, a stone brick. Let's fix up my health situation there. But this is inclusive of part of this width here, so from what I gather, the entire width of this section here from left to right, not including these lengthwise sections here, this particular section here, from end to end, is how big a stone block is. And that's what I'm trying to replicate here. So if this were the interior, I would need to factor in how much space the stone blocks would take up outside, so that I could calculate how big the space would be. That'd be the true cost of the build, as it were. So that's kind of what's tricking me out a little bit here. I could put something like this here, I reckon, and then something like this, and that would give me a relatively accurate indicator of the footprint that stone blocks would take up in the exterior. This is what I wanted to experiment with. Oops, alright. We're out of uses. Outside the workbench range. Okay, so if I spin this around, let's see if I can get to it this way. Right, so in terms of building, this would actually be the true footprint. It would be this outer edge right here, because we have to take into account the size of the stone blocks. So that's roughly what I was going for, something like this. Like this isn't quite perfect, but it's pretty damn close. And I think when it comes to crafting, like if you look where the floors join in, they actually join in partway into the wall. So I think this will kind of work out well. Yep, and the wall itself will be made of stone. It won't be made of wood. And if you look, because it's joining directly in the middle of the wall, it's actually going to hit... It's going to join directly to the stone, like right on the edge. So I think this is going to work out really well. Alright, so then you would replicate this all around the outside. Right, and that would give you the true footprint for what I'm trying to go for. Now, I'm not saying that this exact footprint is what I'm going for. This is just a test build. Probably didn't need to build it so large. But it was a good exercise to flatten the land and check it out. And the joisting system, I think, is probably a little redundant in going too overboard. I think having just a simple support like this at key intervals will be enough to support the floorboards. I think that should be plenty. Now, the real complexity comes in where I need to adjust some of the heights of the floors in the rooms. Because you go into like a central area, so you walk into the central area, and then to the left and right there are a couple of sets of stairs that go down. And they go down probably, I don't know, maybe up to the character's waist, chest high maybe. So I would actually need to dip this section here and then adjust the build accordingly, and that's going to be tricky. I'm not sure how to tackle that. While we're here and while we're playing around too, let's have a look at maybe adding some extra supports here, because I haven't really played around with that either. I put like... could put like that there, and I suppose I could spin that around. That there, like, same deal. And then, really, I could get rid of this, and I've actually got a couple of windows. There we go. And I could pretty that up by putting a support in. There we go. Looks a bit weird on the door, but kind of works. I can kind of see outside a little bit. I guess I could do this all the way around. I could add like a support here. Let's play around with that. Add a support there. Drop that out. I could add a support. Can I add a support up here? Yeah. That's kind of cozy. Doesn't feel like I'm trapped. That looks a bit ugly, but that's alright. You know what I could do? I could just, like, for aesthetic reasons, I could, whoops, I could, come on. Yeah, something like that. Just so that it kind of arches over the door a little better. Do I have anything else I could do? This would fit better up here, but I wanted to leave a little section open. What do we got here? We've got wood roof cross. We've got some wooden beams jutting out at certain angles. Okay. Ah. Need some nails for those. Log pole. Core wood for those. Guessing the strength of those are quite significant. Something else to play around with maybe for a later episode. But that's kind of the general gist. So I hope that makes sense. It's given me something a little more to play with. The only thing that I'd really worry about now, like I said, is potentially leveling off some of this land. Let's give it a shot. Let's say... Ooh, let's mark it out. Let's mark it out, so... Let's say from here to here... Actually, let's mark it out a little more precisely. There. there. Alright. So between these areas here, I would need to put, say, like an area going down. Let's see if I can fulfill that while we're testing everything out. Ugh. Alright. See if I can put an overhang here. Seems happy enough. Oh. Something running around out there. Okay. Alright. Very good. Back out we go. So, let's see if I can manage to stick to... Again, this doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it'll probably hurt if it's not perfect. Sorry, it'll probably hurt if it is perfect. Just needs to be generally lower. Alright, now, if I've got those, let's see if I can just use the hoe to level everything out. Let's try leveling this down a little bit. Actually, we'll try leveling this. Oh, that busted. That's alright. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. What I do need it to do is to be able to put some stairs down here. Alright, I would need these to snap to something. I don't have a lot of wood left. Let's gather a little bit more wood. It'd be nice to test this out. Actually, we'll grab their stuff. That's basically tested. Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, we've got... So if we have a line coming in this way... If I can get the line right. Yeah, pretty close. So, like, along here, and let's see if I can put some stairs down. Alright, that snaps pretty well, that snaps pretty well, so what I'd need to do is clear some of this. Alright, like I said, it just needs to be the illusion. Right, so we'd probably have the floor up here. These would actually need to be up here somewhere. But it's something like this. I would need to lower it a little bit, get this in place, figure out how the footprint looks down here, and then, before I commit to anything else, raise and lower appropriately. Try and get that footprint established. I think that's how it's going to work. But that looks pretty good. So... Alright, let's assume for the sake of argument that we have this here, this here. These guys will come down from... Oops. these guys will come down from the floor here. Okay. So they would need to come down like this. Alright, now that paints a completely different picture. So if I'm standing at the bottom, which would be roughly here, I think that's about right in terms of size. So I would actually need to raise that floor to this level. So this little dip here would potentially be enough. It's just deceptive because it's partially buried. Alright, there is a gap here. Let's have a look. Yeah, that is roughly about right, I think. So I think that's pretty well, proportionately, that's pretty well spot on, I reckon. So I wouldn't need to extend this down any further. That'd be overkill. That'd definitely be overkill. Okay. So then, in theory, what I would do... Well, in theory and practice, so we'd have a floor down here, like this. And what I would need to do, come on, up, is raise this floor. So I should be able to just level this up underneath. Not too high, or otherwise it would clip up through the floor, which is not what I want, like this. Okay, if I... There we go. It'd be a little bit of a balancing act. I might need to joist this area up if some parts aren't taking properly, but that's pretty much how I would expect to do it, something like this. Of course, these can clip through... Oh, I'm like a couple short, right? How much does it cost? 2. I feel like we could just bust open a stump somewhere and be good. Or, you know, like a random tree somewhere. Perfect. Okay. So that I would need to lower. Yeah. Probably a little bit. There we go. A little bit more here. There. Doesn't matter if it clips slightly through the underside of the floor, but I don't want it clipping on the top side. That just looks wrong, of course. So something like this. Okay, that works out pretty well. I'm glad I took the time to experiment with this. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's cool. Come here. Come here, you. Alright, now the next trick is doing an upper floor. That will be fun. It'll be a similar process. The hardest part will be figuring out how to align the stone slabs. That part will also be tricky because there's an overhang on the exterior of the building. A slight overhang, I should say, and I don't know how to plan that into the build. I don't know if that's even possible. I'll need to play around with that. But that'll be a thing for an episode later down the track. I think what makes a lot of sense is putting a portal here so that I can come back and test stuff really easily. So I'm just going to head back. We'll grab some stuff along the way. Maybe do a little hunting. I know I said I was just going to build, but, you know... Wasted momentum. There are people who don't like watching these episodes, that's fine, but I'm not going to stop running the playthrough for it. Now the question is, how close are we to the base from here? Yeah, still too far away. It's quicker to go to base 1. Eee. There is dinner. Oh, at the very last minute. You were lucky. They taunt me. Well, this is more of a chill episode. I hope if you're building things, I hold no illusions of helping anyone here. I'm just a novice. I'm a beginner. But maybe you got something out of this. Hopefully you did. Hopefully it wasn't a complete waste of time. Yeah, that's not far away at all. Okay. Chewing into our fine wood reserves, dropping all these portals. Alright. Bop. We need... why am I looking in all of those? What I really need is down here. 10 of these. Gonna have to go to the new base. Just wait until I rested buff restores itself. Come on now. There we go. They're looking a little worse for wear. Interesting. Probably because the windows are open, I'm guessing. Upstairs. Definitely something different about all of this. Maybe it took a little bit of damage from the attack. I don't know. A little bit more weathered than normal. Than they should be. Alright. Let's head back to the new base. I need to grab this stuff. Okay, that can stay there. Probably could have taken 2 extra certainly cores, but I'll need to drop a portal down at the base anyway, so it's all good. Okay. Right, let's head back and place this portal, and that will be the episode pretty much. I should be able, when I set this portal, I should be able to set it to home. And then change it on the fly. Okay. Whoa. Case sensitive? Yep, definitely case sensitive. There we go. Here's a lovely little trick. Those seeds look like they're ready, which is good. Alright, so I need 9 more of these. And I need some Serling cores. Right. I'm gonna pop the training portal over here somewhere. So if we head back through, now I should be able to change this to training. That will fire up again. There we go. Sweet. Now, before we go any further, just going to get rid of the stuff in the inventory here. Yep, some of that. Some of that. What have we got here? Dandelions. And a bit of food. Oh. There we go. Okay, that was the episode. The bonus episode. The bonus mini-series. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I hope you got something out of it. At least, even if it's just an idea of how I'm going to try and put the base together. Based on the information I have, but with the knowledge that there will clearly be more things coming. And you sprout up there, my little friend. Until next time, Vikings.